One guy who's got a number of big-time playmakers, although admittedly on the smaller end because he coaches in Class 3A, is Jamie Driskell, the head coach of the Malakoff Tigers. A guy who, when we think about powerhouses, I think that a lot of people forget how good Malakoff has been in recent years.
Very good.
And here to talk about his Malakoff Tigers is the head coach of those Tigers. It is Coach Jamie Driskell. Coach, how are you?
How you guys doing?
We are hanging out, just enjoying a little bit of summer. How has your off season been so far?
Oh, it's been great, man. Kids are working hard.
What is your I'm always interested in the message you send your kids. Obviously, they're going off in summer, and you want them to have a little bit of a break, and you want them to have a good time. But what's your message to these kids, knowing that, we're about 2 months away from actually playing a real live football game?
We do a thing. It's called the Sweet 16 during our summer workout. We want the kids to have a summer, get away from the school for a little while, and just enjoy your summer. But at the same time, not sit on the couch all summer. And so we set them a goal. We obviously can't make them come up there, but we set a goal for them to come 16 times during the summer, and we'll get them a T-shirt or something, and just kind of reward them. And that way, it's kind of where they can come up there and get some workouts in, and also have, go on vacation with their family or whatever.
Yeah, the T-shirt's the great equalizer for Coach.
Right, that's right. It's amazing what they'll do for a T-shirt.
I want to ask you a little bit about your district. You guys get drawn in District 9 3A Division 1, and it's an 8-team district, so obviously you're going to start district play very early. And boy, it seems like the UIL has it out for you, because this district, they didn't do you any favors. When you talk about Teague, Grosbeck, I think has a chance to be real good. West has been resurgent. This is a war week in and week out.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. To be honest with you, of course, everybody guesses, before realignment, you think you're going to go here and this, that, and the other. We really thought, by the number of schools, we thought we would go north again to Region 2, because we kind of bounced back and forth to Region 2, Region 3, and we thought we would go north again to Region 2 like we did 4 years ago. And not only did we not go north, we stayed in Region 3, and they put in some schools that are a pretty good haul for us, and so it's not only travel, but just really good teams and really well-coached ball clubs. So it's going to be a fight every week.
How early, obviously you've had a lot of success, and you've needed to look forward to deep in the playoffs. How quickly do you take a look at the region, and how quickly do you take a look at the fact that you've got like Lamarck dropping down and Cameron Yo sticking there? How quickly do you take a look at the wider picture?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, of course, we worry about our first game, you know what I mean? But our district is really tough, and so we got to get out of it. But this particular year, just because of where we got put, we looked at it immediately, and we were like, wow, Region 3 is always really tough, and I think it's even better this year with Lamarck dropping down, and Cold Springs and Grosbeck and some other schools. And so we looked at it immediately just because of all the new schools in it, just kind of the new look that it has, and it's going to be really tough, man.
We're talking with Jamie Driscoll, the head coach of the Malakoff Tigers here on DCTF Live. Get involved with the conversation at #DCTF Live. I want to talk a little bit about your 2016 squad. You guys have a unique playmaker in QT Baker, a guy who can change the game in so many ways. For you, what is your philosophy with using QT? Because it seems like you could just give him the ball every play and just call the touchdown play.
Right. Well, lucky for us, we have another kid also named Tyler Russell that he's kind of the opposite of QT. He's on opposite sides, and it's our job to get those guys the ball in space. That's where they're good at it, and stay as balanced as we can offensively as far as running and pass, and they are game changers for us, and we're lucky to have them, and both put in the time and the work, and obviously they have some God-given talent that you and I just don't have, and it's fun to coach them because, again, it's our job to get them the ball and move them around and do what we got to do to make those guys be successful.
So we talked about, Tyler Russell, as well, a guy who plays both sides of the ball. But the interesting thing about it is that you've got these two kids who also combined for 7 touchdowns on special teams, 7 return touchdowns. There's a lot of coaches, especially at the 3A level, who would be kind of resigned to put those guys in kind of not dangerous positions, but positions where they're going to take a lick. It seems like you don't. That's something you're willing to. I hate to say roll the dice on, but it's definitely a risk, right?
It's a risk. I think QT and Tyler I think they would disown us if we didn't put them on the kickoff return or the punt return. But the last thing we want to do is get them hurt.
Sure.
And we are smart with it. If we have a lead, a big lead in the game, or if we're way behind in the game, we'll get them out, and just try to rest them. And it's going to be kind of our job to manage it throughout the year this year, because they both play offense and defense as well. And they're just both, again, getting them the ball in space is key. And, of course, special teams, they're going to get it in space. And that's when they're the best. And so, again, we want to take care of them the best we can, because they are kind of our go-to guys. But they're sure fun to watch on special teams, and they'd be really mad at us if we took them off on special teams. So anyway, they will be on special teams, I can promise you that.
Another star player that we'd be remiss if we didn't mention is Jud Miller, a guy who a great thrower. But the thing that always strikes me is whenever you see a 3A quarterback over 200 pounds. I mean, at 205 pounds, it seems like you got a fullback who can also throw.
Well, he's one of those kids. He loves the weight room. He's a thick kid and just hard to bring down. He loves to run the ball. And of course, he's got a great arm. But the thing about Jud that people don't really understand, that his best quality is he's just a real calm, real cool, very intelligent football player. And that helps, obviously, with our passing attack and our running attack. And he can kind of see what's going on. And he's kind of a coach on the field, luckily, and for us. And he's just one of those guys. He's a lot of fun to coach, because there's times where he'll kind of slow me down a little bit and just kind of, hey coach, he's just very calm kid and very cool back there. So he's kind of our leader and kind of keeps everybody straight and a lot of fun to be around.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that he calms you down, because we were looking for, when we were creating a graphic for you having up on being on the show, we were looking for a photo of you. We had a couple of photographers, some Malakoff games, and the one photo we found of you was you hollering at an official.
Imagine that! Man, that's not good. That's not good.
So I was like, we can't use that one. I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think Coach would appreciate that.
It wouldn't have bothered me one bit, to be honest with you. It really wouldn't. The people give me a hard time, and the officials, I love them. They got a hard job, but if we think they missed a call, then I can't help it. I get fired up there and out there, and my kids tend to get fired up too. So anyway, we're just fighting for the kids,
We talked about the offense a lot, but it seems like defense is going to be at a premium in this district because there's so many high-powered attacks. Who do we need to know about on your defense? Who's going to be your difference makers over there?
Well, we got some kids that are coming back that we feel are going to be pretty dang good. Larry Coker and Daniel Littleton are our two defensive ends, and they played pretty much every snap last year defensively, and they're really long, really good players, play great technique. They've gotten a lot faster and stronger, and so we've got big hopes for them. Peyton Lowry is another one that we had a kid get hurt late in the year last year, and Peyton had to play both ways, and then he really came on defensively, and so we're excited about him. C.J. Overton, we may look at him. He's a bigger kid. He played some D-line for us last year. He's got the motor and the kind of the fast twitch type stuff for a big kid, and we may look at him and standing him up a little bit, maybe playing him a little bit of linebacker. But he's kind of a multiple hybrid type kid, and got high hopes for him. Of course, QT and Tyler play in the secondary, and we have a couple other guys, Brayshawn Williams, Adonye Dixon Thomas. Those guys will be in the secondary as well, and I hate to leave anybody out, but offensively, we think we can put the points up. Defensively is where we've got to sell our kids out. So many kids nowadays society's made them they want the ball in their hand, and it's all offense. And so defense is what's going to win us a championship. And I think we're kind of sold out defensively this year, because we feel like offensively we'll be okay, and defensively is where we got to get better. And so Coach Watkins, as a defensive coordinator, does an awesome job. And I think our kids are fired up about playing some defense, hopefully.
We're talking with Jamie Driskell, the head coach of the Malakoff Tigers here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. Coach, I want to ask you kind of a personal question, and you can swap me out to half court if this is too personal. But you're in your 8th year at Malakoff. You have accumulated a remarkable record of 64 and 18. You guys are perennially 8, 9, 10, 11 wins. There's a lot of coaches out there who would say, all right, here I've done this at this 3A program. It's time I want to go grab a 5A or a 6A job. Why?
Right.
But it seems like you seem quite content at Malakoff. Why Malakoff? Why 3A football?
Well, I'm a small town guy. I grew up in a small town. And I was lucky enough to get this job in 2009. It was my first head job, and we were lucky enough to be successful. And it's come from a lot of hard work from a lot of different people. It's not just me, and my staff likes it here. I have young kids. My daughter's going to be a freshman, and my son's going to be a 7th grader, and then and Jack's going to be 8. He's 8. So they really like it here. My wife likes it here, and sometimes I would hate to, just to be honest with you, I'd hate to make a move. And then if you didn't like it or they didn't like you, then you're moving again. And so sometimes the grass isn't always greener. And we like it here. Is Malakoff a perfect place? No, there's not a perfect place, but we sure like it. It's been good for my family. And I owe it to myself to always, at least keep my options open. But at the same time, we like it here, and we're small town people. And, it's just kind of become our home. So, people have been great to us here, and I don't invest in U-Haul a whole lot, So.
Coach, all you had to say was my wife likes it here.
Yeah, exactly.
If both Max and I would just be
nodding. Reason.
Absolutely. If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Yeah.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
He is Jamie Driskell. He is the head coach of the Malakoff Tigers. Coach, appreciate you taking some time in your off season and try to go get some relaxation. And I'm sure we'll be talking in the fall.
Well, guys, I sure appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I'm headed to Alabama Orange Beach here in about 3 days. I'm going to get away for about a week, and when we get back, it'll be time to go. Pretty close to it anyway. So thanks again, and sure appreciate y'all's support. And great talking to you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the beach.
All righty. Take care.
There he goes. Jamie Driskell, the head coach of the Malakoff Tigers. I hope that's not out of line for me to ask. Because that's not to say that 6A or 5A football is any better.
Is the only place to be.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not. I don't think that 3A football is a demotion from 6A or 5A.
No.
But the truth of the matter is there's a lot of coaches around the state for whatever reason, and I don't fault them for it, but they will say, you know what, I built a resume at the 2A or the 3A level, and now I want to go and coach at 5A or 6A.
I think the question was sort of born. You and I were talking before the show. It's nothing against Malakoff. It's a great place. But we looked at his resume, right? What he's done. It's really impressive and sort of off the radar, right? I don't think his name gets brought up enough for the success he's had at Malakoff. And I think it was more, we're sitting there, surely a couple of ambitious ADs, right, or superintendents have called him over the years. And he's clearly fine staying there. And it's what is it about Malakoff? What makes it special? Because to the average person who doesn't spend any time in Malakoff, you don't know. So it's why you want to ask.
Yeah, and what's funny, he said he takes over in 2009. He takes over a team that in the previous 2 years was 1-19.
Right.
Okay? Since then, 8-3, 9-2, 9-3, 8-4, 11-2, 9-2, 11-2.
Great program.
I mean,
it's a great program.
And he turned it up. He turned it around like that.
Like that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a remarkable story in Malakoff. That region 3's bare. You've got Lamarck, you've got Cameron Yo, Teague in your own district. You've got a lot of teams to worry about, not to mention Kirbyville and Cold Spring Oakhurst. It's a tough region. Malakoff's going to be there, man. They've got the playmakers, and they've got the coach to do it.